So, welcome to Office Hours, which is my live stream series where I answer viewer questions. But be new-ish series and on new-ish YouTube channel, there doesn't tend to ever be questions. So I kind of just go on Reddit and answer questions, and then we'll watch this later. So, if you're watching this later, welcome. If you have any questions, you can drop them down below in the comment section, and I will get to them. Office hours that I do. I'm trying to do these every Sunday, which feels like a good time to do them. So let's pull some stuff up here. Probably should promote this. I haven't been promoting this at all. I'm like, I probably should promote this stream on Twitter or something. Let's share, copy that, post on Twitter. I am on at Ben Semish. If you want to follow me, read about dumb shit all the time. So if you want to listen to dumb shit, I gotta write a tweet. It's the hardest part. I should have thought of this before I started. Being like, oh, okay, I should write a tweet first. Let's see. Okay. Tweet sent. Nice. Okay. Let's get down to business to defeat the Huns. I can't say let's get down to business without saying to defeat the Huns because Mulan. That's just a movie. So let's log into Reddit and then we'll go and we'll answer questions. Usually just go to the videography subreddit because there seems to be a lot of questions there. Go ahead and close this. There's a way to filter by questions. So let's do that. Let's see. Looking for more stuff. Oh, here's a question. On an EOS R, 1080p is full frame, but 4K has a crop. It's a small crop. So how does using less of the sensor give you more resolution? That's because when you're using the 1080, it's downscaling. Whereas with the 4K, which has a slight crop, it's either doing like pixel binning or line skipping, so it uses less data because it would heat or it can't functionally record the full sensor. That's my understanding of it. So in case you were ever wondering about why it goes crop mode, the crop mode can actually be pretty helpful sometimes when like, I know like on the FS7, if you're shooting in 80, you can switch to like a partial sensor mode and it zooms in like 2x. And so like if I am filming like a wedding or an event, the camera has to be like way in the back. You could put on 70-200 and then you basically get a 2x extender without putting on a 2x extender. But then if you put on the 2x extender, you go into crop mode, ooh, straight in. And I know you're like, well, you could just shoot 4K in. Like, well, you could, but this is less data. And if I'm shooting an event, it's probably delivered in 1080 anyway, so why shoot all that data? And if it's a live stream, well, there you have it. You can't really crop in on a live stream. So there's your answer to that one. That's a pro tip if you have an FS7. I think the FX6 can do it. I'm not sure what other cameras can do it, but it's definitely a handy feature. So let's find some more questions. This is a question. Wanting to get my first 4K video camera for YouTube, simple YouTube videos. Be my first video camera ever. I've wanted to do YouTube for a while, and I'll simply share my experiences and opinions on topics of my idea is to go on a hike and find a nice secluded spot in nature where I can set up a camera on a tripod and talk for 20 or 30 minutes. Use your phone. My first question is recommendations would be I want at least 4K capability. You don't need, but I don't need anything super fancy. You don't need 4K either. Since all I'll be shooting is me sitting for a short duration, maybe I'll take. I really don't know where to start. Tripod. Yeah, get like a really cheap tripod, like a travel tripod, and then get. I'm using the thing. Holder. Use your cell phone, because if you don't know what you're doing, and this is like your first time doing anything, don't spend money on. Shoot it on your cell phone, edit it on your cell phone, and then upload it. And if you find this an enjoyable hobby, then get into it. But 4K is something you need, especially if it's just a talking head vlog, because there's really no benefit to shooting in 4K. I think this is 720. I mean, most people that are watching YouTube are watching it on their phone. They're not gonna watch it in 4K. Like, very few people will play back in 4K. The only things that really need to be in 4K are like, look at this beautiful shot, or like something you want to future-proof. But yeah, I would say most content is not watched in 4K. It's just more data to deal with. It's more processing you need on a computer. It's not really worth it. So don't shoot in 4K. Just use your phone. And change your phone can shoot in 4K now anyway. So use your phone. That's my advice. Oh, filming first wedding today tips. So many. First, don't. But since you probably already committed to it, let's see. I'm using Sony a7 III with a kit lens and a DJI Mavic SE. I also have a tripod and my iPhone with a Filmic Pro. And you would give, you need something audio-wise. But since today, good luck. Yeah, I shoot, basic tips: shoot tight, shoot medium, shoot wide of everything you can. The drone is not going to be near as helpful as you think it is. Drone shots are, I mean, I guess you can get like establishing shots, or you could get moving shots if you just held the drone and did this, which could be something. The iPhone with Filmic Pro is not even worth using. Keep using the a7 III and have enough cars and batteries. I don't like, you'd set up the iPhone as like a second shot during a ceremony. Otherwise, I don't really know when else you'd use it. But yeah, for the next time you do it, you need audio. You need, even if you're just filming like a highlight video, you need the audio. The audio will carry the narrative. The audio of, at the very least, like them saying their vows, if you can get them like doing a first look with the things they say, the toasts, all that stuff is like good. You know, sometimes they write each other letters. If you can get them reading that letter, then you'll have some little audio pieces to help structure your edit. If you don't have that, it's kind of just like some flashes of clips, and I think it's less compelling as a story, and it's less emotional, and people pay for the emotions. Get some audio gear and learn how to use it. That would be my advice, biggest advice. And you could just get like a Zoom H1N, which is like $120, and get a little lav into it, and that's better than nothing. Or you can even just get like a smart lav from Rode, plug it into your phone. That's like 60. There's a lot of options there for like cheap audio. That's like not terrible. Let's see if we answer that one. Let's see. Filming youth hockey for dummies. Oh fuck. Good luck though. Filming games. I'd like to start filming my boys' hockey games and practices when I can. Hoping I can get some guidance opinions from the pros. Looking for a simple and best option for a fixed device. I'm too active with walking around and watching the game all over the place. I'll put myself in the action, lol, but not a coaching streaming parent. Whatever recording device I choose. Good enough resolution to zoom. Not sure GoPro is on my list due to friends having battery and overheating issues when shooting in 4K 60, but not totally out on this easy option, but might be okay with using two, maybe an opposite. I'm not even close to a pro. So when I film hockey, I'm playing, so I usually just stick them up behind the goals, and I don't shoot 4K. Sometimes I shoot 60. you could do 4K 60. The GoPro will last that long. It'll last for a whole game. It'll go an hour plus. Obviously, you might not have access to the ice. You could always do it from behind the goal, I suppose. That's only really going to show you everything from the blue line in, which might be enough. My advice would be to get whatever kind of basic video camera, a tripod with a good fluid head, get as high as you can, and pan back and forth. The other thing I would suggest is there's a company called Live Barn. They rig up these cameras. It's a pretty swanky system. It's like $10 a month, and you have access to all the footage from the cameras from all the rinks, and you can cut little clips out and you can save them, and it's a pretty good deal. If they don't have it at your rink, you can email them and be like, hey, you should do it at this rink. And they just started putting them in here in Omaha, and the quality's not great, but for like $10 a month, like, it's really hard to complain about that. So that's, I think most of the places I play don't have the cameras set up yet. If they ever will, that's in question. So for now, put the GoPros behind the nets, and that gets most of like the good stuff you'd probably want to see. Otherwise, up high and kind of just copy what the NHL does basically with their main shot. That would be my suggestion there. Any good free video editing software without watermarks? You can use DaVinci Resolve. That's a suggestion there. It's pro level even. I think you can't do 4K and you can't use like MXF files and stuff. But if you're for free software, you probably don't use MXF files anyway. No eye when shooting high frame rate on Canon Mark IV. That's most cameras. If you're in a high frame rate, it turns the audio off. I don't know if it does that with the Mark IV. I don't think I've ever shot high frame rate with the Mark IV because that's more of a photo camera for me. But yeah, most will turn the audio off. I don't know why it does that. Maybe to save data. It needs the processing power. Or because they think it's gonna be out the story anyway. Who would use it? Like, well, a lot of people. I don't know. Looking for more questions. Selling licensing content to a charity. Hi everyone, I've done a brief search on here and found an element in searching license videos. To keep this brief, I'm a mental health professional and I started a YouTube channel giving mental health advice. My channel is not monetized and I have no sponsors. Videos are between 3 and 8 minutes. I have about 2,000 views every 28 days. It's still very early. I have no background or any experience in making videos. I've been approached by a company who I know have a good reputation, who have developed a well-being app for employees of organizations who sign up. They have asked me if they can use some of my videos on their platform. It is hosted by Vimeo, and then people who have access to the app have access to my videos. As the app is by a charity, they have asked if I can donate my videos for them to use and load the original files. In return, they will display a logo for my private therapy business and a link to my YouTube channel. A few things crossed my mind at this point. First of this seems good advertising for my YouTube channel. Not really. Someone sees my video in the app, wants to see more views of my YouTube channel, which increases my YouTube subscriber base. That probably won't happen to a large degree. Maybe if the app scales really well. I want to see more. On the flip side, I've had some advice that I'd be charging for each video. I mean, you could. I have no idea where to pitch this after looking at a per hour cost versus value cost way of looking at things. I'm also getting confused between them buying the original videos and owning them versus what I think is licensing the videos. 12 months, I own the original and can still use them to sell. As you can see, I'm quite conflicted. I would, A, not do this. So I guess pull it back. There's a lot of ways to think about it. If you want to succeed on YouTube, I would not do that. If your plan long term is to be a YouTuber and for YouTube to be your primary source of income, don't do this because it's just a bag of worms. You're opening up a lot of issues and they're not giving you fucking anything for it. They're not even giving you the views. Like, they can just link to your video in the app. It doesn't need to go to Vimeo. So fuck A. B, they're a charity. Like, what? Okay. those exist, I guess, but I've worked for a lot of charities and they have all paid me, so that's bullshit. What else? They're definitely paying the guy who's making the app. Think about it that way. Like, why aren't they paying you? See, if you ask for money, they'll probably just go to somebody else. They probably chose you because they think they can get it for free because you don't have a lot of views, and they're telling you it'll be a good business move, which may or may not be. On the flip side, if you don't really care that much about YouTube as a source of income and or long-term thing, and you're kind of just to help people and you might get some fresh business from it, then yeah, I would say go ahead and give it to them, but with the caveat that you should include an introduction about who you are and where they can find your mental health resources, like a website, and then a closing where you have a call to action, be like, if you want to learn more, please email me, or my office and phone numbers, email, and your social media shit, so that way you directly can connect with people, whereas they'll just come to your YouTube channel and watch more, because I don't think if people are in an app, they're not going to leave the app to go to a separate app to type in your name. That's just not going to happen on a big measurable number. But as far as like, it does add to your like expertise and your credit, I suppose. But that, again, that goes back to more if you want to succeed as a therapist than if you want to succeed as a YouTuber, don't do it. That's my advice there. Feeling discouraged to see big production houses making cooking videos. That's it. There's no question. Big production. Just a beginner, want to make recipe videos, but I don't know anything related to videography via editing. I hope you get the gist. I feel like... Okay, so big production houses making cooking videos, and I could flip that around and be like, there has always been a food channel. Like, I don't know. I mean, why would you get discouraged about that? Like, it's like me being discouraged that there's NHL players and I play shitty league hockey. Like, no, I go have fun with it. Like, go have fun with it. And like, if you get picked, great. And there's plenty of people who make shitty internet recipe videos and make a full-time living off of it. So make good recipes, have good camera presence, and that's really all you need. You know, I think you need a lot less of a following of production value of view counts than you think you do to get a full-time, you know, amount of money on YouTube. Because then you get to just like a basic level and you make a cookbook, and you know, that's good. You're gonna get paid way more making a cookbook on your own than you ever would from the YouTube revenue. How do you guys find clients? The easiest way to find clients. That's it. Figure out what kind of work you want to do and then do that work, which is easier done. So if you want to do stuff for businesses, then you would contact some local small businesses and be like, hey, let me make a video for free. And they'll be like, hey, great. And then you put your fucking logo at the end of that. And then they'll share it a bunch, and then you'll share it a bunch. And then you just generally network. You have like a suburban Rotary Club. If your church is bigger and if you're not a member of a church, you can go join a church and network with it. It's easy networking. There's just really, it's networking. You gotta learn to talk to people and let them know what you do. And be a friend collector on Facebook and share your work. Do good work, share it. And like, you just do that back and forth. And people will come to you and, hi, I need a video. And your friends will be like, call Steve, he knows his shit. That's the easiest way to do it. It takes, but you can do it. I believe in you. How to get better lighting? Buy lights. Any resources for lighting? I can't seem to get good quality in my videos recorded in my home. I usually only have the option of recording indoors. Is something like a ring light really useful? The circle ones, if do, I'll pick it up. Anything else? I have lamps, which provide good light, I think. If you don't have money, your light is your best friend. Or you can sit next to a computer like I am, because right now this is white screen, and look at the difference between if I use a dark screen or it's not any darker. Give me a darker screen. You see, like, dark versus white. Oh, light on the face. Big computer screen. You could use a TV. You could use, I mean, lamps. Just, but like a window light's gonna be your best bet, probably. Stay next to a window. And mess around with that for a little bit. Lighting, I think lighting is more important than your background. It's a long shot, but anyone shoot video with a D780 or any Nikon. Most people don't shoot video with Nikons. I think that's a rare breed. What is this question? What are things videographers do that just make sense? I don't understand the question. So we're gonna skip that one. Bum, 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 bum. More questions. Tip for a beginner travel vlogger. Don't. There's so many travel vloggers. This August, I'm going to Mexico for 6 months. I'm an exchange student and wanted to travel vlog for the whole period I'm going down there. I studied cinema engineering, so I have some basics on how filmmaking works. I mostly worked on short films. Weird typo. Do you have any tips how to record with only the smartphone? I have a OnePlus 7 Pro. Any guided lenses? Get a good audio and get a mini travel tripod and get a small tape, and that's it. That'd be my advice. But also, like, I don't, if like you're in Mexico for 6 months, what are you gonna do after that? Like, I think the long term is this like, what is the point of this? Are you just documenting yourself, or are you trying to build something out of it? Because if you're trying to build something out of it, but then you're not good traveling again after the 6 months, like, I don't know if it's gonna work out for you, because you're not gonna build any measurable following 6 months probably. I mean, you could try, but chances are, if like you're coming fresh out of it, unless your content like has some weird like intrinsic value that doesn't exist, which I'm guessing is unlikely. Yeah, probably, I don't know. I would just my advice would be stay consistent, and don't think too hard about the quality of it, and just do it for yourself more than trying to build something. It's probably not going to build very big. More questions. That was kind of a depressing answer, I'm sorry. I feel like that's kind of what a realistic, I feel like there's so many travel vloggers, and like, if you could just talk at all in the camera, you're already like ahead of 90% of them, because I've seen so many videos where it's like, look at my new travel vlog, and it's like just shots, like beauty shots, beauty shots, beauty shots, bird flying in motion, beauty shot, beauty shot, beauty shot, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm looking at, and I have no connection, and I don't really care. Like, if you're going to do that stuff, you need to tell me what I'm looking at and why I should give a shit about why I'm looking at it, and for the love of God, no more fucking slow bird flying shots. We don't need to see that, okay? Best budget camera for shooting film. Your cell phone. Good camera for shooting quality video, mostly for vlogging and content creation. I was trying to get the ZV-E10, but it's not available anywhere. It's the Canon M50 Mark II, but unlike some of the limitations of the camera. Recommend any other cameras. I don't mind spending just $1,000, but that's my limit. I would shoot with your cell phone. If it's a budget, shoot with your cell phone. Spend that $1,000 in audio, and it will take you much further, I promise. Because cell phones got decent cameras, and if you don't have a decent camera, use that $1,000 to buy a better cell phone that has a better camera, and I think you'll get a lot more use out of that, especially as a beginner. Again, I mean, I think people don't embrace this enough. Like, the cell phone can shoot, it can edit, it can distribute, and you can live stream. Live streaming from my cell phone right now. Like, I have big cameras, I have ATEM set up, but this is just easy to just down, go live, and we're off to the races. Like, I don't need to set stuff up. Like, this is good enough for what this is. I don't know why I point out the screen, you can't see it. But for what this is, the cell phone works pretty great. You know what I mean? It does more than people give it credit for. Like, you don't need the big camera, especially if you're just starting out. Make some stuff, figure out how to be good on camera, and then go from there. Let's see. Oh, here's an interesting question. Newbie needing a video setup for ... porn shoots. All right, so the wife and I have some pretty crazy sex. We thought we should give it the full beans. That's good. And start filming and selling some of our sessions. I have no idea about any camera work. We've just been filming on our phones for the last couple of years. Looking tips on the type of camera and lens we need for indoor stuff and what we need for post editing. If you have any tips on angles and shit, that would be swell. It's fucking weird, like in and out of like the beans. They're like, fucking angle, bro. Helpful tips. We'll get our first session for free. Wink. Do I want to answer this question? But about $2,000, so low prosumer and proper gear, I guess. That's a fun question, and the answer would be lighting. You want good lighting. Some things to look into will be, there's a company called Red Giant. They have a editing, I don't know if it's an editing suite or they're just plugins, but they have one that's like digital makeup, and I imagine that might be useful, but the thing is kind of expensive. I think it's like $100 a month, but you can put it into Premiere or Cut. So, I mean, I would say start with lighting, because lighting, no matter what your camera system, better lighting will always carry you. And to that end, I'm trying to think of what would be a good, the Amaran, I think the Aperture makes a Amaran, I don't remember what it's called. It's like a light meant for like at-home content creation. I think Amaran is, and 200D, they're $300. If you got like 2 of those and you blasted them into the ceiling to have a nice little bounce light, that will make any camera you use look better. So look at how bright this screen is now. So I would start with that and keep using your cell phone and see if the quality isn't there, because I think some people might like that amateur look, and you just touch the, you just match the production value up a little bit. And then the next step would probably be like a DSLR or a mirrorless camera, something like, like a Sony A7 whatever S, and then like a wide-ish lens, like a 16 to 35, and then a microphone on top, and I think that gets you there. It'd be like 9% of what you need, and if you can buy 2 or 3 of them, and that way you can maybe rig up a couple different options. They'll give you some variety, and then you'd be good to go. And then obviously a computer to edit with, any gaming computer, whatever's left over in the budget. So that would be nice for that. Ideas for practice sequence. I have a small Sony A6400. I need to get off my butt and try to put a sequence together for practice. What sort of things would folks suggest to motivate one for a nice variety in shot selection? This is actually something I've wanted to do, is make a series where it's just homework, like ideas for starting videographers, what to do. A really good starting point would be, there's a couple. So the first one I would suggest, and I feel like I should type this to this person because they're not going to see this, but one that I would suggest, there's something called a 5x5. It's a film school assignment, and what you do is you make 5 shots that are 5 seconds long that tell a story, and that's it. So you could think about, like the cliche YouTuber one is making coffee, which you could do that, but you could do anything with, tell a story with 5 shots in 5 seconds. It's 25 seconds. And it could be as simple as like your morning routine. It could be something like getting the dog ready to go for a walk. It could be like cooking sort of thing. It could be a short film of its own that you could really, you kind of have the 5. I'm trying to think of who had a 5-part story structure, like a 5-act structure. That's a thing. I don't know who came up with it. Let me see. 5-act structure. Because everyone knows the 3-act structure. The 5-act structure is actually like a little better. Oh, thanks. Never. Same question. Oh, I got more for you. Don't worry. It's 5-act structure. What is the 5-act structure? Freytag's pyramid. Probably said that wrong. Okay, exposition, action, climax, falling action, resolution. So if you make the 5 shots, those 5 shots, and they're each 5 seconds long, you could definitely tell a story like that. So that's one piece of advice. The second piece of advice, something a YouTube guy came up with called the Boring Room Challenge, where you make a video by yourself in a boring room and try to tell an interesting story. And if you've been to YouTube Boring Room Challenge, there's like all these short films that were done for that are really cool. Which, you know, you may want to look at that, you may not, because you may see people and you may be like, fuck, I'm not that good. Like, even I have been doing it for like 12 years. I'm like, I look at some of those, I'm like, fuck, I couldn't have thought of that. So, something to think about. Another one, God, there's this book. I'm trying to think of what the fuck it's called. Man, I have this book, and I really like this book, and I don't remember what it's called. Oh, yes. Here it is. It is called, it's by Robert Valenzuela. Hold on, let me flip this guy. This book, Picture Perfect Practice, Self-Training Guide to Mastering the Challenges of Taking World-Class Photographs. This book, if you want to learn a lot about composition, either photography or filmmaking wise, this book is fucking great. And the big thing he does is he has like this list of tools and like types of photographs. So you can think of, I mean, it's really geared more towards photography, but as filmmakers and video makers and image makers, we could definitely take from it. But he talks about like gifts from the location. Think about stuff like patterns, colors, frames. So you think about like right now, if like, I don't know if I can do it, but yeah, I have to get like back here. You see how like my head's in the door frame, and that kind of like draws your eye to it. The shitty example because it's not a good room for it. But like versus like being over here, this is big. Being over here, it's a little better. So you think about stuff like that. You think about repetition, where it's like square, 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 my face. I don't know, leading lines, stuff like that. And then he also talks about theory, how to limit the colors and how to like lean into colors or lean out colors, silhouettes, how to use lighting to your advantage, whether good or bad light. You can do interesting things with it. It's just more about knowing what to do. So that book is very good. Other things you could do. I think I'm really interested in the idea of, there's a Twitter account, it might be a Facebook and probably other things too. There's this like 60-second docs where they just make these like little short human interest pieces that are like a minute long. That would be great. You could go make those like any day of the week. You could get it done in an afternoon. Another thing that a lot of people kind of like on this advice, but you can make your own vlog. You can go, I don't know if you're familiar with a guy named Casey Neistat. He did daily vlogs for a while. There's other daily vloggers. I don't know their names. I knew Casey because he's the biggest one. But you watch his vlogs and you see how, ooh, bless you. Dog's back there, he's coughing up a storm. So if you think about how someone like Casey Neistat or any daily vlogger kind of films their day in a cinematic way, you could do that yourself, and the reminder is like you don't have to post it. Like you can make something just for yourself, just for practice, and then not post it. You could just make it with your cell phone and look for ways to cinematically tell your day or your week, where you try to just get a couple shots, you know, a day, and at the end of the week you sit down and you try to make a story out of it. So there's a lot of advice there, but I have been thinking about making a video series specifically geared towards that. And what I really want to do is, if this channel ever gets big enough that there's ad revenue coming in, I would like to reward people who do the homework and, you know, pick the best one with, you know, Amazon gift cards or Beach gift cards or something. I think would be a nice thing. And it feels weird, like trying to decide how much effort to put in this YouTube channel when it's only got like 70 subscribers and half of them are just like random people who are my friends who subscribe out of like pity. And so I think I'm like, what's the number where I like really commit and put some effort into it? But the flip side of like knowing if I never put any effort into it, it's never gonna grow any bigger. So I'm thinking next month I might give it like a month and be like, go all in on it and see, try to do like a video a day or something. I'm not sure. But in that case, I'll probably make a bunch of those homework assignments because I have like a big list written down on my iPad somewhere. Okay, more questions. Okay. Need some advice for a video controller switcher. I do a video podcast, camera angles to change, so to speak. I'm looking for a controller I can use on multiple iPhones. I want to know if this is even possible. I don't think that's possible. Right now, my iPhone catches one angle towards the PC using an iPhone and app. Now going to the PC. My audio sounds good, so now I want to tackle the video side. As far as I know, I don't think you can use a bunch of iPhones. Well, you could. Okay, so you could use an ATEM or an ATEM Mini, and then I think you can go Lightning to HDMI, and then go into the ATEM that way. That would probably be the way to do it, because it'd be not terribly expensive, and then you'd have the setup for if you ever upgraded the cameras beyond the iPhones. That would probably what I would do. Is get an ATEM Mini, which you could probably get for like $300-400, and then the little Lightning to HDMI cables. And I don't know why that wouldn't work. So, something to think about. More questions. Find the good questions. How to avoid breathing sounds of shotgun mic. Trying to figure out how to eliminate breathing noises when shooting video on my Sony A1. I currently have a Rode VideoPro compact on-camera microphone that my wife got me for Christmas, but even when using that, I still pick up the ambient noises of me breathing or shifting my feet. I primarily shoot wildlife at 600 millimeters, so I keep my eye in the AVS to make sure the subject is in frame. I have read multiple places that an external mic is plugged in. The on-camera mic should be disabled, but that doesn't seem to be happening. Previously I had the Sony 9. You might want to go check in your settings and see, like, you might have to click a mic on purpose, but what's probably happening is that a shotgun mic actually has a polar pattern where it's picking up the front and the back. And if you're shooting stuff with a 600 millimeter lens, like, it's 1000% always gonna get you way better than whatever you're shooting at, because it's just so much further away than you, who's right there. Like, think about like how sound travels. It goes out and it will get into the microphone. So if you want to shoot something that's 600 millimeters away, like, you're gonna need to plant a microphone that's like external, or you're gonna need like a parabolic dish. Like, you're not getting good audio from the camera. Like, that's not gonna happen. The other alternative is to set your camera up and then walk away from it. Otherwise, you need more gear. Sorry about it. How to record POV car driving. Love to capture my daily drive in first-person POV, but I don't want to strap a GoPro to my head. Kind of embarrassing. Stop the lights, junctions, etc. Camera glasses? Like, he has an exclamation point. There seems to be a huge gap in the market for these. Yes. Also, I'm in the UK. My sunglasses will be odd. First-person POV. Get a small rig crab clamp, little guy like this, so like $15, and then mount it somewhere up in the ceiling, and then put a GoPro and get kind of like a over-the-shoulder shot. If it needs to be like POV with your hands, you can do a chest one, which might not look as weird, but the head one's gonna look better. Or you could just mount it, on your dashboard, or suction cup it to the window, and that's close enough. Like, I don't know what you're doing that needs first-person POV. Like, what are you doing that you need that angle? I guess is my question. Would help me understand it, but don't want to wear a camera on your head, like, you could, it's not as goofy as wearing your mouth, which actually is a better POV shot. They have like mouth guard GoPro mounts, and that's like a true POV. It's fucking weird. People have them, and I don't know. It looks good though. But if you really want to not be embarrassed, don't get one of those. Camera folk, what carry bags do you prefer? Pelican cases. Always Pelican cases. It's best compact. Unfortunately, it doesn't fit into my existing shoulder bag. Currently carrying it to shoots in a hard shell drone backpack. It works, but I'm a little worried the padding is still Pelican case. Pelican case. That's the answer. If you want something that's will last, it's waterproof, it's bomb-proof, you can step on it, you can sit on it, it's crush-proof, you can put a car over it. You can't kill a Pelican case. Whatever's in a Pelican case will be safe. Pelican case, it's the best money you'll spend. They have lifetime guarantees. You can't go wrong. Your essential apps for filmmaking on phone/tablet. Filmmaking, so if I'm filmmaking on the phone, then Filmic Pro is a good camera option because it uses the actual camera data as opposed to using the like iPhone's default camera setting, which compresses it. But the data is going to be a lot bigger than you think it's going to be. It's one thing to watch out for, and your phone will fill up very fast. But if there's a movie called Tangerine, made by a guy named Sean Baker, very good film. He's a very good filmmaker. He shot it all on iPhone 5S's with Filmic Pro, and it looks pretty good, considering that's like a 6-year-old camera. Essential apps for filmmaking on the phone. There's also an editing app called Adobe. If you already have the Adobe Cloud, you get it for free. Otherwise, it's $10 a month, which it's not worth $10 a month. But that's the editing app that I use when I want to edit slightly more advanced things than just cutting in and out points. There's also one called LumaFusion, which I've heard good things about. And then as far as other apps, there is an app. There's a bunch of apps like Seeking the Sun, but they're all like $30, so I don't have them. Because I also kind of like have a rough idea. In Omaha, it's nice because you just kind of know where you're at geographically. You know, like the sun's there, it's gonna be probably there. Like, unless it's like hours away, then I have no idea where it's gonna be. So yeah, Filmic Pro, LumaFusion, or Adobe Rush would be like the three you need. Beyond that, you really don't need anything app-wise for filmmaking. Having lights and sound is a different question. Then those would probably be beneficial things to have. Oh, let's see. More questions. Sony ZV-1 videos. I have one of those, and I almost never use it. I should get rid of it. We're not about it. Sony ZV-1 have been recording my swing at the driving range. For the life of me, I can figure out how to properly record anything in slow motion. Every time I try, the camera doesn't give me enough time to set up and is already finished recording by the time I'm about to hit the ball. In my experience with the Sony ZV-1, it just records as long as you want it to. So I don't know what the issue is you're having. Maybe there's card buffer or something. Get a better card. Maybe. I don't know why you'd be having that problem. I don't think I ever had a problem with that. Yes. More questions. Maybe one or two more. How are we doing? 45 minutes? Long stream. Trying to keep them. I think less than an hour is the sweet spot. Because this is about the time where I start fading too. And I'm like, I don't want to watch me for an hour. What's the average time to keep a videography position? That depends on how well they're paying you. I just graduated from college and I have 3 years videography experience. I just accepted a position with a corporation. I honestly don't want to work in it more than 1 year. Everywhere I looked online says it's disrespectful, unprofessional position less than 2 years. Fuck them. Is this the same for videography? I really just want to jump around and do a ton of stuff. Do it. I don't like getting stuck in one place. To be honest, ideally I would work any position for like 6 months and move on. Not a fan of getting super into certain company culture. I feel like it can stifle creativity, objectivity. I would say get that job and fucking mediocre it as much as possible. spend a lot of time and effort on things you find very that you think would be good for your portfolio, and everything that is not in that vein, fucking half-ass the shit out of it. And then from 5:01 p.m. have boundaries. At 5:01, you fucking out of there. Like, don't stay late to work on projects. Fuck them, right? Instead, like, work on your freelance career, networking, start making stuff for yourself, and then ideally you have that position for about a year, and then you cut the cord, and then you're just freelance from then on, and then you don't have to worry about it. The people that say, like, you gotta stay company loyalty and like, fuck them. Like, the fastest way to get a raise is to change jobs. That's it. And they have been treating people so poorly for so many years. Fuck them. They don't deserve your loyalty. If they want your loyalty, they can pay for it. Whether you're working for a company or not working for a company, you are selling your time, and you are selling to the highest bidder. You owe them nothing but the work you are contractually obligated to give them. That's it. Don't fucking listen to anybody who says anything different. On the flip side of that coin, if you have a bunch of jobs that are only like 6 months, you will start to find it hard to get hired, because people will look at that and be like, why does he keep switching jobs every 6 months? You know, hiring will look down upon that, but fuck them, whatever. If you have valuable skills and you have expertise and you do good work, you will be in demand, and you can tell them, somebody offered me more money. As long as you offer me the most money, I will continue to work for you, and I will be happy to do it. But really, if that's your attitude, you should try to go freelance. Okay, I feel like that was a good one to end on. I'm gonna do one more and ruin that. Let's find another question. It's not gonna be as good to end on, and we'll end on it. Oh man, this is a question near and dear to my heart. How to improve video editing skills with ADHD? Hi, I am very good at video editing in a linear, traditional way. In films, giving narrative, 99% of my work is live events like clubs, restaurants with some shows, baby showers, etc. I think in that type of video editing skills are not enough. I see what other people are doing in the same type of videos, and I'm amazed they can edit that way. Every time I want to make my editing different, I start having stress, anxiety, my mind gets frozen, I do not know what to do, happens the same, I can lose 2 hours looking. Another thing that makes me go crazy, that I need a lot of footage to edit video, like, oh, I'm looking for the reason for each piece of footage. I don't understand that. The other day, one guy did a free video for one club where I work. The guy made a crazy video with very little footage and effects. And for the same club, I need a lot more. I feel that I will lose some jobs because of this. Probably not. I know that one solution is to continue editing, but I cannot do more with what I know. Is there any way that helped you? Maybe some course that teaches you to edit in a more abstract way. There's a couple courses. There's a YouTuber named This Guy Edits that's really good, and he's got a lot of good content just on his YouTube that you can learn a lot from. But really, I would recommend, there's a book by a guy named Austin Kahn, and it's called Steal Like an Artist. And if you haven't read it, you should read that book, because the TLDR is that you should just learn Steal. And, you know, he has a good graph in it. Is if you are stealing from one person, if you're making a direct copy, you're stealing, but from 10 sources and bringing them in, then it's research. And I think embracing that is the key. Really with stuff that's like live events, restaurants, baby showers, you're probably overthinking it. You can really make those formulaic, and you could just watch 10 of those from 10 different people and kind of see their format and just rip that off wholesale. Find one you kind of vibe with, and then rip it off, because it's not going to be exact. You're going to tweak things. It's going to be different enough just by inherent that the footage is different and the place is different. You're not going to get the same shots they got. But if you go into it with like, okay, here's the establishing shot, here's like the first 30 seconds, there's 10 cuts, you know, and like half the cuts have pretty women, either camera aware or not camera aware, they're dancing, you know, you kind of just take those notes and you kind of make your own thing based off that. You shoot it for the edit. And like a baby shower, like that could be super formulaic. Like, who fucking cares? Like, no one's gonna watch a fucking recap video of a baby shower. Like, that could be the most basic ABC thing, and you could just make that same video over and over again. Don't think too hard, make it fast, here you go. Like, that would be my advice. And again, restaurants, same deal. Just get the same, look at a bunch of videos that for people that have made, you know, if you're pizza, look at some pizza commercials, look at what they did. If there was a cool shot there, steal fucking cares. Like, they stole it from someone else. Like, there's nothing, it's one of those things, like, there's a saying that there's nothing original under the sun, and this is from the Austin Kleon book too, I'm just realizing that I'm stealing from him now. There's nothing original under the sun, and you can either embrace that fact and say, well, everything's already been done, so I can go ahead and copy it, or you can get dismayed that, like, there's nothing under the sun that's, you know, everything's been done, like, what can I contribute? Nothing, probabilistically. Like, I mean, if you want to think about it like that, that's a depressing way to look at it. Fuck that. Like, instead, you think, look what that guy did. I'm gonna fucking do that too, and everyone's gonna think I'm a genius, just like he's a genius. If you steal from enough people, it becomes an original thing. You know what I mean? Like, it might not be good. You might mix flavors of Mountain Dew, and it might taste like shit, but it will be a unique flavor that Mountain Dew doesn't sell. So think about it like that. Yeah, so I think that's a good point. Ended on. I don't know what that has to do with ADHD, but here we are. So, thank you for watching. All one of you. Two of you. Yeah, I'll be back next week or the week after. Try these every Sunday. And if you have any questions that come up, you can drop them in the comments, and I'll answer them next time I do one of these. So, as always, thank you for watching. I will see you next time. Have a good one.